have enjoyed looking and listening to my books, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Walt Disney's Bambi, a Ladybird book, first published in 1985. One day as the sun rose, there was great excitement in the forest. A new prince had been born. It was a little fawn, son of a great stag, prince of the forest. All the animals and birds came to welcome him. The fawn opened his eyes to see happy faces all around him. For a moment the fawn looked frightened, and then he got to his feet. At first his thin legs trembled, but soon he stood firm and strong. A young rabbit asked, "What's his name?" "Bambi," answered the mother deer. "That's nice," said the rabbit. "My name's Thumper." And he hopped away to spread the news about the new fawn. It was summertime and the forest was beautiful, with flowers all around. Bambi loved to walk with his mother along the leafy paths, finding new surprises every day. Once he saw some opossums hanging upside down, and another time he found a mother quail with her 9 babies beside her. Sometimes Bambi played with Thumper the rabbit, who showed him all sorts of new things and told him their names. "Those are birds," said Thumper, and Bambi said, "Birds," after him. It was his very first word. Then a butterfly came along. "Bird," said Bambi. "No, that's a butterfly," said Thumper, laughing. Bambi bent his head to smell some flowers. "Butterfly," he said, trying out his new word. "No," said Thumper, "they're flowers." Suddenly a small black pointed nose poked up out of the flowers. "Flower?" asked Bambi. "No, no," laughed Thumper, "that's a skunk." "He can call me a flower if he wants to," said the skunk. Bambi had found another new friend. One morning Bambi's mother took him to the meadow. He'd never been there before, and it was a wonderful place to play. He was racing up and down when he saw another little fawn nearby. Bambi was so surprised that he bounded away up the meadow, pretending not to see her. "Don't be shy, Bambi," called his mother. "Come and meet Faline. She's your cousin." Soon Faline and Bambi were playing happily together, chasing each other round the little hillocks. Then came the sound of running feet, and the stags burst out of the woods. They were calling "Danger! Man!" as they ran. All the birds and bees hurried into the trees, and in a moment the meadow was empty. Bambi and his mother hid in the thicket and trembled with fear as they heard shouts and loud roaring noises quite close by. "That was Man, Bambi," explained his mother. "He carries a long stick called a gun that can kill you. He means danger to all of us here in the forest." Summer passed and the weather grew colder. Bambi woke up one day shivering to find that the world had turned white in the night. Every blade of grass was covered with a white coat, and so was every tree and every bush. His mother was watching him. "That's snow, Bambi," she said. Bambi put one hoof out onto the snow to feel the cold crispness. Then he walked forward carefully, lifting his feet high. It was a lovely winter's day, and the sun sparkled on the snow. In the distance, Bambi was surprised to see Thumper playing on top of the pond. He hurried towards his friend and skidded on the smooth ice, and down he fell. Thumper just laughed at him. Soon Bambi could walk without slipping, and he and Thumper had a fine time playing in the snow. Once they heard a faint snore from a snowbank. They looked down a deep burrow and saw the little skunk there, fast asleep. "Let's wake him up," said Bambi. "No," said Thumper. "Skunks always sleep right through the winter. It's called hibernating." Winter was fun at first, but as time went on, there was less and less food. All the animals grew hungry. Sometimes there was nothing at all for Bambi and his mother to eat, except the bark from the trees. Then one day there was a change in the air. It was a little warmer, and Bambi's mother found some new green grass under the snow. Bambi and his mother were eating the grass hungrily when suddenly there was a loud bang not far off. "Run, Bambi," said his mother. "Run as quickly as you can and don't look back." Bambi ran and ran, his mother just behind him. Then there was another loud bang. Bambi ran faster than ever. When at last he stopped, his sides were heaving. His mother was nowhere to be seen, and the forest was quiet. Bambi looked all around and then began to call wildly for his mother. In a moment, the great prince of the forest came to his side. "Your mother can never be with you again," he said quietly. "Now you must be brave and learn to walk alone." The long winter was over. There were flowers here and there, and the trees were tipped with leaves and buds. The spring sun shone on Bambi's coat as he walked along the forest path. He carried his head proudly, for now he had a fine set of antlers. Suddenly he found another deer beside him, a beautiful doe. "Do you remember me, Bambi?" she asked. "I'm Faline." And after a moment they went on down the path together. "Not so fast," said a deep voice. "Faline is going with me." It was a deer called Ronno, his antlers lowered, ready for battle. Bambi had never fought before, but he wasted no time. He charged straight at Ronno, and they met with a crash. They fought fiercely, but at last one of Ronno's antlers broke. Then Bambi managed to wound Ronno in the shoulder. Beaten at last, Ronno limped off into the forest. Faline came back to Bambi's side, and they walked away through the trees to the meadow to start their life together. Summer passed happily for Bambi and Faline. Then one autumn day, Bambi and a great stag heard dogs barking and smelt man. "Yes," the great stag said, "it is man, with tents and campfires. We will have to go to the hills." As Bambi called Faline, the dogs came close. He lowered his antlers and held them off, calling, "Hurry, Faline." But when he turned to run, there was a loud bang. A dreadful pain went through Bambi, but it didn't stop him. The great stag ran at his side, saying, "The forest is on fire from the campfires. We must make for the river." They rushed through the fire, through the cool water of the river, and on to the far shore. Many other animals had already reached safety there. Faline was there too, and she gently licked Bambi's wounded shoulder. There was a long, cold winter to live through in the fire-blackened forest. And then came spring. New leaves and grass and flowers grew where the fire had been, and the forest was beautiful once more. And soon news went round the forest that Faline had had 2 babies. Squirrels and birds and rabbits came to see them. And not far away, the proud father watched over them all. Bambi, the new great prince of the forest.